My name is Chris Wright, and this is my new student dialogue log. Um, I did mine on age, and just its um, perception. But looking at the guided questions, I don't really feel like my group achieved true dialogue. I feel like it was more of a guided discussion by the leaders. They kind of just asked questions, leading us through it. I feel like this wasn't really a true discussion or true dialogue because no one really knew each other very well in the group. I mean, I didn't know anybody in the group, so it's kind of awkward when a group of strangers are kind of forced to be in a room together talking about something that, I mean, none of us really wanted to talk about. We were just doing it because we kind of had to. So there's always going to be that awkward silence in that group. Um, but then there was some very strong active voices in our group, and there was a couple of people who would constantly talk, or not constantly talk, but talk after every question that was asked, um, or most questions for that matter. But I feel like the group activities that we did were very good at making everyone active because it was smaller groups, and I feel like that would be almost even better for the student dialogues is have smaller groups than a group of 30. I think mine was maybe just a smaller group of 10 or such. But also there were many reserve voices in the group, myself included in that group. Um, but I feel like the reserve voices, those people would just, whenever they talked, for me, example, I would talk just to break the awkward silence, or just to, yeah, just, and then a couple of times one of the leaders just say, hey, it goes faster if you talk, so just someone would chirp in there, just trying to get things going and whatnot. Um, but probably the most impactful part of the student dialogue was the group activity where we got little pieces of paper and whatnot that had like can drink at age 15 or can drive at age 14 or just activities like that, and we had to match them up with the country. Um, and so that was very challenging to do because obviously none of us really knew many of them. Um, but it's just a great way and an example to see like how like people across the world just see age as a different thing. It's not, there's no one certain answer to age. It's not this is what age is, this is not what age is. It's very open to interpretation or open to discussion. Um, but I think the new student dialogues, I think why it's part of Library 100 is just to kind of get us to think about that kind of stuff like I just talked about. Um, and just like engage others in the kind of conversation about stuff that normally you don't really talk about. It's more of like you think of it as black and white, but it's really not black and white. So I think that's just I think it's really good that it's in Library 100. Um, I really just, I mean, I would strongly recommend just to keep do doing new student dialogues in Library 100. It's just a really good way to get people to think about that kind of stuff. But I think dialogue is very useful in schoolwork, and school classes, just whatnot. Just like whenever you're working on a group project, it's better to just like talk out like ideas or just that kind of stuff, just subjects or whatever it is, not just debate over them. So when you debate over them, nothing really gets done. It's more of just like this is I want my way, and you never really come to a common ground. So dialogue is just a good way to do that. Um, but then also just like classes are a good time to dialogue because you don't want to, if you go to, I'm in a sociology class, so when I go to that, it's not good to think like, hey, this is the only way this should be done. It's more of like, this is what I think, like, this is how I think it should be done. But like, I'm not rejecting all of your thoughts. It's just more of like, that's how I think it should be. So it's just good, just to dialogue just pretty much everywhere. It's not, debate's never really a good term to use or a good action to use. So yeah, that's really all I have in my student dialogue vlog. But I really enjoyed just the new student dialogue activities. Just thought it was a great thing to do and a great opportunity to do.